social media, what cities are the most savvy? A recent study done by NetProspects, a business contact database company, found, probably not surprisingly, San Francisco to be number one, because everybody in San Francisco walks around like this. Joining us now is Michael Bird, CRO of NetProspects. I mean that with affection, but it's true. I got bumped about 10 times on one city block in San Francisco because everyone's doing this and no one's looking up.
That's true.
But they're connected.
They are connected. They are connected. And from a business standpoint, first, thanks for having me on, Ryan and Dagan. But from a business context, we're seeing it cross the chasm from just personal use of Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter to really making it a part of the business fabric and putting it into the DNA. And that's very much the case in San Francisco and San Jose, who dominate, from across the country in terms of their usage patterns.
New York not up there at number 4 because give me your iPhone, because I saw a woman doing this and get hit by a bike messenger yesterday.
Right.
So there are more hazards in New York.
It's far too dangerous in New York. But actually, I think it's interesting as we see New York, while the West Coast dominates in the top 10 of the cities, I don't know if you have that chart or not, but when you start to think of the expanse from west to east, what you see is cities 3, 4, and 5, Austin, Texas, New York, and Boston. So the spread absolutely is moving east, and there are some major hubs out here and in the middle of the country.
So for our viewers that are watching that say own a pizzeria in San Jose, they've got to be on Twitter and Facebook.
Absolutely.
That's what the end result of your data is, that these small businesses have got to engage with the new technology.
If you don't, if you're not on it, you are going to be losing ground at a rapid pace. And nowhere is it more important than in the Bay Area, where we've just seen that incredible usage pattern. It is in the DNA of the business.
Whole businesses have been built up with social media, particularly food carts and food trucks in Los Angeles and here in New York City. When you look at that map, there is a big black hole across the entire middle of the country, so that raises the issue. If you're a business there, do you need to spend the time and money with social media?
It's a great question, and the data that we've done and we've put together in this survey doesn't get to the why and the how. This is really about what's happening. If you try to answer too many questions with any survey, you don't answer any of them well. So, but when we start to think about the Midwest, there isn't an awful lot of connectedness there. But if you're doing business, it's more of you're doing business nationally. If you're trying to do business with someone in San Francisco or in New York or Boston, you need to consider where they are, and if they are using social media, you better be using it to help advance your cause.
Any way to gauge how, there's an interesting, you and I were talking about in the break, the chief technology officer of Amazon.com spoke to Fast Company. I was reading it today, and he basically said, a lot of people on Twitter and those types of things think people are listening, but they're not. Facebook, they're saying stuff, it's like you're screaming to yourself. How do you know when you're actually engaging somebody?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it starts with you. What are you communicating? There are an awful lot of tweets that are out there that, I don't like standing in line for a cheeseburger. Well, that's not terribly important.
Unfollow.
That's right. But if you're tweeting and if you're posting information that's of value, that's going to resonate, and people are going to connect back.
Well, and the greatest value is really a conversation, having a conversation with the customers, and engaging them. That seems to be the verb of choice in the last year.
It helps make it relevant. It helps make you relevant.
Michael Bird, CRO of NetProspects. Mike, thanks very much.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
We're both on Twitter and Facebook. An historic find at ground zero.